reading. So, think about what comparing means when we compare things and when we contrast things. Now, I'd like for you to turn to a partner and talk to them about what comparing and contrasting means. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. What does it mean when we compare things? Rita Mori.
It means you tell stuff about the same thing.
Say that again. About what? What does it mean?
It's to tell something, two stuff about if it's the same or not.
Okay, how things are
Similar.
similar. Okay, another word we could use for similar is what, Ella? Alike. Okay, so how things are the same. What does it mean when we contrast something? Jasmine.
Two things are different from each other.
Okay, how things are different. If we look up here on our anchor chart, we see that when we compare, eyes are up here please, how they are alike or the same. When we contrast, we're talking about how things are different. Okay? We have used a Venn diagram before. Here's a Venn diagram up here. How can we use a Venn diagram to compare and contrast? Lauren? It helps us to organize. So how would we use this? Okay, so we would have our two things that we're comparing and contrasting up here. On the outside of the circle, we're writing things that are that are different for those two, whatever we're comparing. And in the middle, we're writing how these two, whatever we're comparing, is the same, goes in the middle, right? Okay, that's how we can use a Venn diagram. We're going to watch a video today about about comparing and contrasting two fairy tale characters. The two characters are Red Riding Hood and Gretel. Who can tell me the gist of the story of Red Riding Hood? Summarize Red Riding Hood for me, Alex. The big bad wolf? Mm-hmm. How did she get to grandmother's house? What did she go through? She went to the woods to get to grandmother's house. She was trying to give her a basket of goodies, right? And a wolf seemed upon it, right? Okay, what about Hansel and Gretel? Who can tell me the story of Hansel and Gretel, Jake?
These two boys, girls, two girls, they go into the woods. There's this witch that has a candy house.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go because they're hungry, but the witch wants to kill them.
Okay, so two kids, brother and a sister, are going through the woods. They see a house made out of candy. They love candy. What kid doesn't like candy, right? And meet up with the witch who wants to cook them for dinner. Okay, we're going to watch a video about those two characters. I want you to be thinking about how these characters are the same, how they are different. Okay, because when we're done, we're going to compare and contrast these two characters. Dominic?
Is this the video that we just watched?
Yep. Okay, Jake, can you turn the lights off?
For possible eviction from The Story House, reality TV's only show filled with your favorite writers and characters. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of The Story House. I'm Sofia Romero. It's been an exciting week for our writers and characters, and tonight we have two much-loved folktale characters that face possible eviction from the house. There's Red Riding Hood, who only wanted to bring her grandma a basket full of treats. She's up against Gretel, who went into the woods with her brother Hansel and found a candy house. Let's see what they had to say when they learned they could be evicted.
Hansel and I probably should have stayed away from that candy house, but times were tough, and we were so hungry.
I know I went into the woods alone, but I was just trying to bring treats to my grandma. It's not like I stuffed my face eating a candy house or anything.
As always, let's bring in the professor to break down this matchup in a segment we call Compare and Contrast. Professor?
Hey, Sophia. When we compare and contrast, we want to take a good, long look at what's the same and what's different between two things. Both of this week's characters are girls from folk tales. Both girls seem to have a sweet tooth, and both girls go into the woods. These characters have some big differences, too. Gretel goes into the woods using the buddy system. However, Red enters the woods alone, and while Gretel drops breadcrumbs to mark a route back home, Red talks to a stranger.
This one is too close to call. Folks, the lines for voting open right after the show. We'll find out who has been evicted in a live results show later this week.
Before you call in to vote, remember to compare and contrast both characters by asking yourself what's the same and what's different.
We'll be back after this.
Who wins? Yeah.
Okay,
Snoopy.
lights on, please. All right, so fourth graders, on your sticky notes, you have 3 sticky notes. I want you to write 2 compares and 1 contrast. A compare about Hansel and a compare about Gretel. In the video, they discussed a little bit about how they were similar and how they were different. 2 contrasts. 1 compare, 2 contrast. All right, then when you're finished, I want you to bring it up here. And I've drawn a Venn diagram. Gretel and Red, right? Red Riding Hood. So you're going to do 1 compare, and then a contrast for Hansel and 1 for Red and 1 for Gretel. Okay, stop talking, please. All right, eyes on me. Let me explain again. We're going to compare and contrast Red with Gretel. On 1 sticky note, you're going to write how they are the same. On another sticky note, you're going to write how Gretel is different from Red. On another sticky note, you're writing how Red is different from Gretel.
Which one's
Okay?
the one for...
Red Riding Hood is the one who goes and visits her grandmother. Gretel goes out in the woods with her brother. Okay? You are only writing 1 thing on each sticky note. When you're done, then you're going to come up here and decide, where do I put it? Do I put it underneath Gretel only, Red only, or both of them? Okay? 3 sticky notes.
Excuse me.
That's where it's compared. Okay. Contrast with Red and contrast with Gretel. Good. How about this one and this one?
Oh, I see both right there, so that's your compare. Okay, so you're working on contrasting the 2, right? What camera you have so far? That's just for Gretel.
You can if you want to. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you about 35 more seconds. 35 more seconds.